I'm Dr. Jordin Wiggins, and this is the Pleasure Principles podcast. Join me on this journey where sex, science, and sensuality meet. Let's change the conversation around sex and pleasure together. I'm recording this episode on my birthday. I got thinking about birthday wishes, my desire, my vision for the next year, all that I am grateful for, and some of what's missing, some of what I still desire. This year has seemed to be an uncomfortable one. I thought it was just me and my clients. It felt like it was a bit of an effort or a bit of a slog. But I was speaking this week and I realized that depression rates, burnout rates are back up to as high as they were in COVID times. So not just us, not just you. So if this year has been uncomfortable, things are off, you've struggled with health or other stressors that just keep coming up, this episode is for you. I've had a lot of comments, conversations with you in my DMs on episode 84, The Void and Learning to Feel Safe, Receiving Love, Attention, and Pleasure. I will link it in the show notes if you haven't listened. Check it out. So we're expanding on that topic. Superwomen are such great tolerators. Life taught us this. Our childhoods taught us this. Growing up, identifying as female taught us this. Most superwomen tolerate, and whether we do it out of martyrdom, that we're helping, that giving to others makes us feel good, regardless of all the reasons, because we like to control, because we feel safe, regardless of the reasons. Most of us are tolerating because we run from the experience of desiring, of deep desiring. I'll explain more about that later. First, let's talk about what is tolerating. How does tolerating show up? In a nutshell, it's putting up with shit for longer than we should. I had a client tell me that she was tolerating the uncomfortableness in her body that has come along with an undiagnosed autoimmune disease for years. She said she'd been to so many doctors and specialists that she just thought she had to live that way. And I wish that that was outside of the norm, but thousands of women that I have worked with are in that position. Tolerating in our relationships. Maybe it's tolerating being with somebody who isn't putting in as much effort. You're doing things for them that they could be doing themselves. You're tolerating not being loved in the way you deserve to or the way you desire to. You're giving so much more than you're receiving. You are putting in the effort to keep the relationship going. You're filling up the relationship gas tank. You fear that if you step back or do less, things will fall apart. You say things like, "This will get better soon." "Oh, I could never ask him for that." "Oh, it's just not the way he is. I guess this is just the way it is." We do a lot of doing to receive love, a lot of overthinking, overfunctioning, that if we see the problems coming, we can reduce the stress. If we can control, things will be better. We will avoid shame, punishment, withdrawal of love. The superwomen that I work with tolerate until they're sick, until something literally happens to our health or we hit some type of breaking point. I call this crash, where we need to stop and focus our energy on healing. Maybe you're tolerating migraines, painful periods, mental health, where you need to claw your way out of that last episode of functional depression until it happens again. And if you've been following, you know, with me and my ADHD, PMDD journey and cyclical vomiting syndrome, this is like, I'm definitely not immune to this. This is happening to me too. What about tolerating in sex and intimacy specifically? So not feeling seen or heard, not having your desires met. And we're not taking blame here, because we can even be acting in ways that it makes it hard for us to receive love. Like that could be our work. It could not even be about our partners. Feeling lonely when our partners aren't present, tolerating sex when we don't want to, desiring that your partner had a higher libido, desiring to be loved in a different way, to be fucked in a different way. But we shut it down, we deny it, we pretend we don't want it, we numb, we plan the next thing. Maybe it's a reno, maybe it's a move, maybe it's online shopping or wine. So, signs that we're tolerating numbing behaviors, staying busy, like I said, planning the vacations, the kitchen reno, the move, when we've lost connection in our relationship, when we don't feel vibrant, alive, desirable. You should feel your life force moving through you. We did a meditation with my group the other day, and one of the participants expressed her energy as this snake, as a serpent. So beautiful to witness. Why do we tolerate? I used to think it was because of Superwoman conditioning. Growing up with the adult child shit, society, families, invalidating our experience as women. It's coming from all angles. Wage gap, medical gender bias, takes women longer to get prescribed pain meds in hospitals. Girls with endometriosis are not believed about their period pain, so they tolerate it for like 8 years before they get diagnosed. Having our sexual arousal cycle compared to men's. We are in a society that is set up to propel men and make it easy for them to succeed. Hello, invisible workload. And this does not even begin to describe the treatment of women of color and those in third world countries. So I talk a lot about this on other episodes, Superwoman conditioning on other episodes of the podcast. I don't want to focus on that today, but that's what I used to blame tolerating on. And then I got thinking, and I asked the women in the feminine mentorship this, when was there a time in your life or career where you truly wanted something and it didn't happen? Where you didn't take the actions that you needed to make it happen, where you didn't get the degree or the promotion or the numbers that you wanted each quarter? And I mean, we all have failures or goals that we don't hit, but like it happened again or in another way. When we get uncomfortable in certain areas like business, our career, we generally do what it takes to make it happen. But there seems to be a big, big difference with tolerating when it comes to sex, intimacy, and pleasure. But if we can make it happen in one area of our life, there had to be something more. There's another reason why we tolerate. And it appears to be because we're scared of the feelings that desiring more, so much more, brings up. And we're also scared to receive it. There's the holy shit, what if this happens? What's the fallout gonna be? What's that gonna do to me, my relationship, my family, my current career? Maybe we don't have the support, the means, the perfect solution, that moment to fulfill the desire. So tolerating is easier. That's less uncomfortable than the uncomfortability of a really deep desire. We're scared to desire so big that it makes us uncomfortable. Let me give you some examples. So desire for connection. And instead of asking for what we want or need, we pick a fight. We make excuses. We tell ourselves that we don't want a relationship. Desire for peace and clarity, but yet we are constantly choosing to be busy, to do. Desire for touch, for your partner to show up differently in intimacy. But instead of speaking up, we avoid, we look at the clock, we do so many other things. Desire for truth and understanding. Desire for new place to live, new house, new career. Desire for more. Having so much and still wanting more. There's almost a shame that we put on ourselves for that. So it's easier to be happy with what we have, or to focus on other areas, numb, think it's not possible for me to have health, wealth, love, than desire the true desire and not what we think we should want or what we think the next step should be. We get confused because vision boards are a different kind of desire. Manifesting is a different kind of desire. I'm talking about the type of desire, the truth, the clarity that is so alive, it takes your breath away. You can't unsee it. This is feminine energy. This is life force energy. We're looking to expand, to have more. We're looking to expand into the universe, the masculine. And when we desire so big and tell truths that deeply about the ways that our current life isn't working, so we start to enter the void and we start to feel emotions bubbling up, anxiety, fear, uncomfortability. We feel like we have to do something about it because the unknown is so uncomfortable. We want to try and wrap things up in a tidy little bow in steps. We feel like we can't breathe, we're hanging on by a thread, that we start to think about this one thing obsessively. And somehow we make this process wrong. We get the misconception that desire work is the vision boards and the balloons on Instagram. But the truth is, growth isn't pleasant. Desires aren't always pleasant. My client this week told me, CEO, kids, I've had a glimpse of my truth since our last exercise, and I'm handling it from my feminine. Not how do I solve this and make everyone happy. You taught me that I don't need to act every time I'm uncomfortable. The practices for not withdrawing and shutting down, which have been my normal go-tos, have been key in me sitting with this and transforming it into something that would have not been possible when I was so dysregulated before. It's like the butterfly into the chrysalis. It's like childbirth, going to the gym. I started pole dancing again after a 3-year hiatus, COVID, pregnancy. I have bruises and sore muscles. So when we want something, there's almost an aching quality to it, a yearning. Nina Lombardo, will link her Instagram. She describes it as a yearning. Belief that somehow this should be easy, that we shouldn't be scared, that there's something wrong with wanting something we cannot immediately have or see the steps to get there. Or like, how do I have this and my current life? It doesn't equate. I have to give something up. We go into it with this either or mentality. We're scared of wanting what we don't know will be provided or not knowing the how. Expanding into the vastness of the universe, life creation is painful and not pretty. We are scared of dreaming so big, we only desire as big as we think we deserve. And I see this in career as well as intimacy, sex, and pleasure. If we don't trust our needs to get met, if we don't trust that if I have a desire, it will be fulfilled, something that I teach a lot on, because as superwomen, we feel like we have to earn it. We have to work hard. If it comes too easy, we almost repel it. Or if things are going good, we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. I hear this so often. My clients will say, I know what I want, but I'm scared to blow up my life, marriage, career. And it's not the case when we know how to midwife ourselves through this process. And I'll share some tips with you in a bit. The women I work with learn that desire is a necessary part of living a happy, healthy life with good, sustained sex and intimacy. Imagine a world where if what you wanted, it was provided, and provided because you are. We spend so much time repelling this idea, so much time looking for fixes, doing the things, listening to the podcast. We're in our heads. And this confuses our intention. It confuses the desire. We can't hear our intuition, our pussy truth. And we're making decisions from fear and a dysregulated nervous system, which doesn't get us very far. And I know that we know it cognitively, but we continue to do it. I have clients right now, one extremely successful physician, another extremely successful lawyer, and they're looking at the ways that the careers they spent their lifetime building and growing aren't serving them anymore. One of my favorites is when I'm on calls with clients determining if it's a fit for us to work together. And they say, I'm scared if I work with you that my life's going to blow up. Like we have this fear of the void. We have this fear of sitting in the void. We have the fear of feeling the desires, desiring so big. And that fear should be there. That Fear of the unknown is normal and natural, especially when we have our negative beliefs and conditioning that we think that this part of the process shouldn't be hard. But childbirth, creating new life, creating things that didn't exist before, there should be some resistance, some effort, some pain. And I'm right here with you doing this work daily, needing to show up in a bigger way for myself, my clients, my loved ones than ever before. Being more vulnerable, slowing down, standing for my desires, even when I feel pretty certain that they won't be met at times. It is scary, and what comes out of it is always amazing. So let's get into some tips on dealing with the feeling of the uncomfortability of being in the void and desires. The first thing that we can do is affirm desire and yearning is a life force energy, a natural part of my feminine energy, and we shouldn't make it wrong. Desire is feminine, growing, life force energy, expanding. Desiring more is normal. Next, we should believe growth isn't supposed to be pleasant. Women that start working with me are excited and scared. When they say yes, they message me, and this is almost a universal thing that happens with every single client. And they say, I feel better already, and we haven't even really started yet. But just saying yes to that desire, yes to that expansion, leaning into the uncomfortability is healing. The third thing is feeling. When we want to unlock these deep desires, immediately we might not know how to get there. We get into our heads, we have limiting beliefs. It's scary. And the part that we should focus on is that the desire in those feelings, that means we're alive. We want to focus on being with the feeling, witness them, know that the feelings aren't the result. It's just a feeling, it's going to pass. And running from it, like, what does it cost you to run from these feelings for your whole life? We have to. The fourth thing is increase our nervous system capacity to tolerate those feelings. So somatic practices, tapping, meditation. I like Tantra practices, which is some of what I teach. And then the final thing is, what are you willing to give up in order to have what you say you want? Think on that one. If this episode spoke to you, if you are sick of tolerating, if tolerating has cost you too much, you want to see big shifts in your relationship, your energy, your vitality, desire, the next step is joining Pleasure Principles, intimacy and vitality program to redesign your life and relationships for your pleasure. We meet once a month on Zoom. There are online modules to help you create deep connection with your partner and your pleasure, to explore your desires on a deeper level and communicate them in a way that you will be heard and understood. It's a unique approach to sex and sexiness, fulfillment that doesn't feel fake or like you are stepping out of your power. We develop a deeper soul connection with your romantic partner without needing their involvement. We focus on you. And for a limited time before I launch this to the public, as my listeners, if you sign up for Pleasure Principles, you are getting my Feminine Burnout Recovery Program for free. That is a $3,000 value for free. It is my birthday. I am being showered with gifts and love and words of affirmation and all of the things. So I'm feeling a little extra giving this month. This is literally a no-brainer. I am not sure how long I'm going to do this. Literally have to message my team to create the sales page for it because I came up with it. So thanks, guys. But if you are tired of feeling tired, unfulfilled, spending money on shit that doesn't work, if this work entices you and scares you a little, if you're ready to step into your deep desires, let's work on your vitality, feeling alive again, feeling desirable, sexy, vibrant. We can work on the pleasure mindset portion and Pleasure Principles, and we will work on getting you tip top on the cellular level with the Feminine Burnout Recovery Program. Cannot wait to see you there. Have a great week, everybody. If you like what you heard in this episode, leave me a rating. Your support helps me get discovered by more women like you. Together, we can change the conversation around women's sexual health and pleasure for you, your partners, and generations to come.